Hey, I bet you know the value of books and you appreciate reading and increasing your knowledge and communicating with ideas through books. But maybe, like many people out there, you have this difficulty putting yourself together to actually read, to actually go through a complete book. Some people never get the opportunity to finish a book, always end halfway, or you start a book and you feel sleepy, or you never be able to create the time to actually read. Well, statistics suggest that over 40% of graduates never read another book after leaving school. Can you imagine that? And the average human reads just about one book every year. But the academic statistics is interesting. Why would the academic system produce people who never want to read a book again after school, right? Okay, if you've been there, then you know. Of course, many of us said after this exam, even a signpost, I'm not reading. Even a newspaper, I'm not reading. I think I've read enough. Well, I'm going to show you in this video why that is so and how you can revive your reading spirit again, because reading is the only way you access new ideas. A wise man said you'll be the same person in 5 years except for the books you read and the people you meet. So let's go on. Let me show you. Of course, unlike many people, I'm someone who loves reading, and believe me, I do read. I don't sleep on books. I don't doze off. I'm a very, very good reader. So are we rolling? Really? Excuse me. Oh my goodness. No. I'm reading. I'm someone who reads. I'm telling you. I was on page. I'm on page 112. Where's page 112? I was reading it. Well, that's exactly what I'm talking about. Not reading. But see, the number one reason why you're finding it so difficult to read is always understanding anxiety, the stress that you're not going to understand what you're reading. And that's typically from the academic system. You remember in those days in school where you open a book and then you start reading this page, and then you read through and then you forget that you were actually reading the page. Then you realize that, hey, I was reading, where was I? And then you forget where you were, and then you go back to start again from the top of the page, and before you know it, you've read that page like 4 or 5 times. And the more that happens, the more you're entering this vicious cycle of feeling, wait, I'm spending more time on this book. So you become anxious, you become stressed up, and the more you're stressed up, the less you understand, and so reading becomes more of a chore. But that was academics, that was physics, that was geography, that was chemistry. They may have been that way, but after school, in your life, the real books that make you a better person are books of communication, books of people skills, books of understanding your purpose, understanding your potential. And these books aren't that difficult, but because you come with that same programming or experience from school, you treat these books the same way. So the number one way to improve on your reading is to understand that you don't have to understand the book. You just have to enjoy the reading process, you see. And the number two reason is that you force a book. Get a book you're interested in. Come on, get a book you're passionate about. Read on subjects that intrigue you, read on subjects that you like, whatsoever it is, and don't force yourself to understand. Because the third reason why people have it so difficult time trying to understand books is because in school we were designed, or the school academic system, it's because in the academic system we read mostly to pass exams, so you're reading, you're cramming, or you're understanding for the goal of passing an exam. So you're feeling and you're scared, what if I don't understand, what if I fail? But the books of life, the books of self-development, the books of success, these are the real books that make a real impact and difference in your life, and those are completely independent of your academic book. A book, if you can understand just 20% of it, you find yourself that you're smarter than you were before. Even if you can get just 10% of the book. Imagine you pick a book on money, and after reading the book, You may not have read much, you go through the book, but you grab just 10% of what is inside. You've improved your financial life by a great deal you have no idea about. So to change this pattern, you first need to change your perception of books. Books aren't difficult. Books aren't complicated to understand. You don't have to understand the book. It's totally okay that you should maybe pick Rich Dad Poor Dad and you're reading and you're not understanding. Nothing to stress about. It may take you 4, 5 times to read the book and you understand it. But the point is, have fun. Enjoy the process. It's not torture. It's not school per se. You're not forced to understand. You just have to enjoy the reading. Don't forget, number one reason, understanding anxiety. You fear you're not going to understand, and so you get stuck on one page and then you go over and you go over, and before you know it, you're slipping off. Number two reason, the books aren't difficult. These are self-help books, and even if they are difficult, you're not forced to understand it. Get just 10% out of it and your life will be better off than it was before. So start reading today. Number three reason, you're not reading to pass an exam. You're reading to improve yourself, or at least pass the exam of life. So it's not something you're writing tomorrow per se. The point is, you have fun, you enjoy yourself, and you free your spirit. Once your spirit is free from all this stress, this anxiety, your mind is open to receive whatsoever you're reading. For a start, you can use audiobooks. If you're always occupied, you're always busy. I really like audiobooks because I hate wasting time, or there are certain chores I don't like doing. You know, if you're cleaning the dishes, it can be pretty boring, or you're doing the laundry, it can be pretty boring. So this kind of activities that don't take brain power are good venues that once you're doing them, you're listening to an audiobook and you're reviving your spirit. Number four, believe in your potential to understand the book. Because we also come from the academic system with a preconception that we won't understand the book, because many of the books we read we didn't understand. But that was rocket science, that was physics, that was cool. The point is, now you really have the potential to understand. You can undo that. Even if it's an academic book, you can still understand it. You just have to believe in your potential to understand the book. And number five, get a reading partner. Okay, this should be actually the fifth point, not the first point. You know, you can join a reading club so you enjoy reading and sharing what you discovered in the books with people. So interesting fact, of course I never knew this before, but at least in my final year in the university I got this truth, and the truth that really struck me was to believe in my potential to understand the books I read. And once I saw this, I began to see that there was no need for me to go to classes. We are not blaming the system. It did its best for us, and of course we are better today because of it, but we are not best. So we should take from where it left off and improve ourselves to continue. So develop a good reading habit today. Don't take on the elephant at once. Take on the rabbit. So start with one book a month, or one book every 2 months, and then you start increasing from there. But the point is, be faithful. Try to read every day, or every 2 days, every week, and then soon you start finding yourself enjoying this process of reading. You start believing, wow, I can understand these things. Why wasn't I understanding before? Well, because you were anxious and stressed about the idea of understanding. So it's not that difficult. It's pretty easy. So believe me when I say I attended less than 10% of classes in my final semester, because we had the handouts, we had the books, I knew and I did. I just read them and I understood them. I tried to shift my mind from the fact that they were academic books, and I just took them as books. I took them as handouts, and I read and I understood, and I still passed my exams. Well, but for my entrepreneurship class, which I was attending very faithfully, because he was a real entrepreneur and he was pretty funny. So I love these jokes, you know, kind of. It's nice, right? You know, you not get that in school a lot. So I hope you like this video. I really like to know what are the techniques you use to read. You know, some people read 4, even up to 16 books a month. I would like you to share with us in the comments below what technique you use to read, or if you have had this kind of stress, anxiety in understanding what you read and what has been a solution for you. Or let's just talk and share among ourselves. We are here to learn, we are here to discover our potential and become ourselves. So please leave a comment, and if you like this video, hit the thumbs up button and subscribe if you haven't done so yet, and click that notification bell so you get notified each time we upload a new video. So I am Bodas Jumesi from Wisdom for Dominion. Thank you so much for watching, and see you in my next video. Hey, please share this video with a friend you think also needs this. Maybe we can all use some help fighting the stress and understanding anxiety. Thank you. I'm going to read all of this. Seriously this time, not sleeping up.